Adrian Fontes, Maricopa County Recorder here. I wanted to talk to folks about some of the efforts that are ongoing from third parties to register voters here in Maricopa County. Now, we're not the only folks that register voters, right? We've got our Deputy Registrar program. We work closely with a lot of other agencies, Secretary of State, other county recorders in Arizona. We work with the Clean Elections Commissions and so on. But there are other nonprofits and not-for-profits out there who will actually try to get folks to register to vote. Now, the way they do that is really interesting, and we saw this a couple of years ago, and I wanted to just give you a little bit of information about how these folks operate and what they're doing. And it's not a bad thing, although sometimes their data is not great, and so that can cause confusion. So I want to clear this up. There's two groups particularly, the Center for Voter Information and the Voter Participation Center, who have very similar names. What they will do is they will find old lists of voter records. Now, these are just old lists of people who may have moved. They use other databases to try to figure out who to target, and they will sometimes send pre-filled voter registration forms out to voters, and they'll put in also a prepaid envelope that has our return address on it. Sometimes they'll have my name on it as the county recorder, as the registrar of voters. Now, really what they're trying to do is get folks to update their addresses, maybe update party affiliation, things like that. But, you know, most of it, in my view, is pretty well intentioned. But here's the problem. Sometimes the data that they use is outdated, and sometimes it's not really good data. So when they send it out to folks, they've been known to send it out to folks who are, for example, deceased, folks who don't live at those addresses and haven't lived there for a long time. And really the information from those groups is so small on the bottom of these forms and letters that what voters will see and what people who are getting these documents will see is our name and address on the return envelope. So there's a reasonable assumption made that it's coming from our office. First of all, we don't solicit except for the postcards that we send out when we're working with the rest of the county recorders, because Arizona is now an ERIC state. So if it's not on a little postcard that says go register online, we didn't send it to you, but these other groups have. Now, it's not a bad thing, it's not illegal, and it's not terrible that these folks are out there trying to get folks involved in our democracy and then having that information come back to our office, which is where it needs to come back to. The bad thing is that sometimes their data is not great and it can cause confusion and raise some doubts. And that's why I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. So there are groups, there are mailings that are coming out. We've seen some of those and we've gotten some emails from people that they've received them. They are not coming from our office, but we'll get that information back. And if it so happens that a form comes back to us, it has all of the appropriate information pursuant to Arizona statute. It has the voter's signature on it with the correct affirmations, and that person is already registered, or we can verify that they're a U.S. citizen and all of that stuff, then we'll register them to vote, because the voter sometimes just doesn't know. And if this helps to register a voter, there's no reason in law or otherwise why we should prevent those folks from actually registering. So there is some good that comes out of these things, and some folks get updated addresses and so forth, but there is sometimes some confusion, which is unfortunate. So it's a mixed bag. In any event, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that today, so that if you did get one of these things from some of these outside organizations, you know, number one, it's not a terrible thing. Number two, the data may not be perfect, but it's not always bad. Number three, they are generally very well-intentioned organizations, so we're not going to throw anybody under the bus. And number four, we're going to verify all the information that we get before we're actually registering anyone to vote in the first place. So we are vigilant for this. We know that these mailings are out there. We want to make sure that you understand that we're paying attention to this issue. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to call us at 602-506-1511. Again, that number is 602-506-1511. Or you can go to maricopa.vote and get our email address there, or any other questions answered. My name's Adrian Fontes. I'm the Maricopa County Recorder, and I hope everybody is doing really well out there. Thanks so much.